Hi guys, it's Bobby here, Bloomin' Hearts. I wanted to show you what I saw this morning when I first got up and took my puppy outside. This was our beautiful sunrise this morning. It was just gorgeous. And I wanted to make a card to remember that. And I thought I would show you the process I used to get there. It's absolutely gorgeous. And I mean, the sky was really orange. So what I did was I cut out a 2-inch circle, and I just put a little bit of tacky adhesive on there and set this about, well, maybe 2/3 of the way down. The bottom of it is about 2/3 of the way down to the card. And then I just started with Daffodil Delight, and it's just a bunch of sponging, and it takes a little while, but it is so pretty. I mean, you could do it with any shades of like this, or you could do blues and purples and just anything that you might see in nature, and it's just so pretty. But if you just lightly sponge in your first color, and then you can build up as you go, and that way you won't end up with the big streaks, because I had issues with that in the beginning, and I don't like streaks in my sponging. So it just takes some time to go around this circle. And I always start off the edge of the page a little bit, or the page or the card, and just kind of feather in. And when I went out the first time this morning, the sun, I guess, was kind of a creamy color, like the very vanilla paper. So that's why I used that. And then there was just a faint glow of yellow around the sun, and the rest of the sky was real orange. It was so pretty. And then when I was watching the news this morning, somebody had sent in a picture to the weatherman of the same thing that they saw, and it was on the news this morning. So it was really pretty. Okay, let's close this one up, or I'll dab into the wrong one for sure. Oops. And then I'm just going to start back at the same spot, and this is pumpkin pie. And I'm just going to start off the edge and just feather it in, and then it'll leave just a little bit of a yellow glow. And if there's a little bit of streakiness, that's okay, because the sky is not perfectly one color anyway. There'll be streaks of color in it. Now after I get around to this side, I want to go back with the pumpkin and not come in quite as far this time, so it's a little darker towards the edges. And if you go side to side, you'll end up with a few little lines like actually in the sky. Okay, and then I'm going to go to Tangering Tango. The first color I pulled out was Tangelo Twist, and then I realized it was retired, so I had to put it back and get out Tangering Tango. I've been notorious for grabbing the wrong paper or the wrong stamp set or something. Stampin' Up's going to send me a letter telling me to stop at any minute. I don't do it on purpose. And then I just want a little more orange towards the outside edge. Okay, so that's enough of the orange, I think. Well, it's not as orange as the first one. Let me add a little bit more, because it really was more orange than this. But it's probably, anytime you do it, it's probably never going to be exactly the same 2 times in a row. Okay, I'm going to stop at that. I don't want to overplay it and get too much going on. Now we can take the circle off Make sure I didn't leave any residue. And then for the ground down here, I'm just going to sponge in. I'm going to start with, let me get my colors laid out here. That's this one. And chocolate chip. I'm going to use Crumb Cake, chocolate chip, and Early Espresso, just to get some texture in the foreground. And it doesn't have to be anything perfect, because we're going to stamp a bunch of trees over it anyway. But you need a base color. And my card is very vanilla, and I cut it through the center at 5 1/2, and then I scored and folded it at 4 1/4. So it'll be a top folding card. And I cut this piece is only 4 wide. Well, wait a minute, it's 5, because this is 5 1/2, and I cut this 5 so that there would be a border down both sides. So it's 5 this way and 4 1/4 this way. Get a little bit more color in here. And then we're going to switch to chocolate chip. Okay. So now we're going to get chocolate chip out. And this is a little bit darker, so just don't press too hard. But it needs to have a little texture to it, because it is ground after all, and it's not level or even. At least not here, it isn't. I'm going to take this up a little bit higher on this side so it's more level with the other side. But we're going to have trees anyway, so it's not going to be a big deal. And then I'm going to use a stamp from Sheltering Tree. It's got the prettiest trees on it. I'll just leave that open because we're going to be doing the trees here in a minute. And then this one is, see which is the darkest. This one is. So this one is Early Espresso. Okay, now this came out of Sheltering Tree, and I don't know if it's supposed to be water or what it's supposed to be. If you can see this on the stamp set, it's along, but I thought it looked like the edge of the land, so that's what I used it for. And I just, the first time I stamped it off because I didn't want it to be too dark, like the foreground. And I'll stamp it off again. And let me get some of this one. Oh, that's Early Espresso. I don't want that. That's too dark. Let me open up the Crumb Cake again. Almost stamped it in the wrong one. Okay. There, that's what I want. I'm just going to stamp it a few times to give it some texture and just kind of move it around. Just want this edge over here. I think that's good enough for that. I'll put that over here. Now this is the big tree, the big bushy tree that's on that stamp set, and I'm going to do it in Crumb Cake because it's going to be farther in the background, so it should be lighter. Oh, I got the dark stamp again. See what happens when you open them all up? I don't want that one. I don't want the tree to be that dark. I want Crumb Cake. Okay, that's what I want. Now I'm going to stamp this so it's a little bit, the moon's a little bit, or the sun is a little bit behind it. And it just gives a hint of a tree there. And then I want these to also be light, and this is the row of trees, and I'm going to stamp all of those in Crumb Cake. I don't want them to be real dark, but my Crumb Cake actually needs to be re-inked, so it should be about perfect. Yeah. See those? That looks good. Now we can use the darker inks because we're getting closer to the front. So this is Chocolate Chip. We'll go with Chocolate Chip, and I just want to ink up the first two. See how dark that's going to be. Okay, that'll be fine. And I want to put these right down here. And then I want to ink up the ones on this side, and I can stamp them off the edge. Like so. Okay. And then let me run some Snail across it. Make sure I don't have any ink there. And then I'm just going to mount it flush with the top of the card, leaving a little border at the sides. And it should mount flush with the top and the bottom. And then you can add any sentiment to the inside that you want. I haven't put anything in it yet because I really don't know what I want to do with it, but I thought it just turned out so pretty. The colors are just gorgeous. So this is the one I just made, and this is the one I made this morning. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, please go to my Stampin' Up! Store at Bloomin' Hearts at StampinUp.net, and you can order any of these supplies I've used. Thanks a lot, guys, for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good day. Bye.